Good morning. The topic for the current discussion is Otoconial Odyssey in the right posterior semicircular canal, the stepwise positional retest and physical interventions for resolution. This is a strange case. In this presentation, we explore a compelling case of 61-year-old male presenting with acute vertigo triggered by positional changes, diagnosed as right posterior semicircular canal BPPV of the typical periampullary semicircular canalolithiasis through detailed positional testing, including Dix-Hallpike maneuvers that reveal direction reversing nystagmus. We trace the intriguing migrations of the otoconal debris from initial periampullary canalolithiasis to ipsicanal non-ampullary involvement post Applet maneuver and ultimately cupulolithiasis on the short arm side after mastoid oscillation augmented quick liberatory rotations. Over 72 hours, the iterative treatments like innovative vesicle maneuver led to full resolution, offering key insights into the mechanisms of otoconal migration and value of adaptive physical therapies in potentially refractory BPPV. So, starting right here, what happened is shown is in this diagram. It shifts here first, and then it goes to the short arm side of the right posterior cupula and adhering to it, making it posterior cupulolithiasis. This article is already published by us in year 2025, and you can go through it. It is freely accessible. In recent years, the authors like Kalmanson have thrown doubt on the existence of cupulolithiasis. This is 2023 publication, and again this is one more publication. The favored cupulolithiasis mechanism of otoconia adhering persistently to the cupula has been called into question, but our case demonstrates that the cupulolithiasis theory is still to be believed as we start with this case. This is a 61-year-old male patient who presented with vertigo on turning from left to right while supine, and on getting up from supine. The positional retests were done as under. Bow and lean test was done because the vertigo started while the patient was in the bed and supine. The lean nystagmus evoked was right torsional upbeating. Right Dix-Hallpike test evoked direction reversing positional nystagmus, possibly because of the short-term central adaptation of the vestibulo-ocular reflex. The initial strong right torsional upbeating crescendo decrescendo positional nystagmus of 19 seconds is immediately followed by left torsional downbeating slow crescendo decrescendo positional nystagmus of 45 seconds. So this is the initial lean nystagmus. I am leaning the head backwards, and clearly after a short latency we can observe a right torsional upbeating positional nystagmus. The bow and lean test is not always positive in cases of vertical canal BPPV. However, in this case, it was positive. The right Dix-Hallpike test, initial upbeating, strong right torsional upbeating nystagmus, lasted for 19 seconds. It was typical crescendo decrescendo, and it was then followed by a slow crescendo decrescendo left torsional downbeating nystagmus. So we get a direction reversing positional nystagmus in the right Dix-Hallpike test. Initial strong 19 seconds, right torsional upbeating, and the later nystagmus was left torsional downbeating, slow crescendo decrescendo, lasting 45 seconds that you are right now seeing on your screen. We follow the guidelines of 2018 by Bhattacharya and we carried out the right Hapley maneuver 5 times. Uprighting from the right Dix-Hallpike test also showed a reversal nystagmus that was downbeating and left torsional. So there's hardly any doubt about right-sided typical periampullary posterior semicircular canalolithiasis. Treatment with 5 cycles of right Hapley maneuver was carried out, and 24 hours later, we re-examined the patient with the positional retest. The right Dix-Hallpike retest at 24 hours shows a left torsional downbeating nystagmus, which is slow crescendo decrescendo. It has to be slow crescendo decrescendo because it is an inhibitory nystagmus because of the ampulopetal deflection of the right posterior cupula. So it looks like that the patient has transformed into the Ipsy canal non-ampullary arm posterior semicircular canalolithiasis of the right side. In such cases, the Dix-Hallpike test is positive on the both sides. But let us see what happens on uprighting the patient from the right Dix-Hallpike position. As the patient was uprighted from the right Dix-Hallpike position, around 1 to 2 beats of upbeating right torsional nystagmus were elicited, which many would pass as no nystagmus. The left Dix-Hallpike test was also done at this time, which also elicits a slow crescendo decrescendo left torsional downbeating nystagmus of less than 60 seconds. Uprighting from the left Dix-Hallpike retest shows a clear-cut upbeating right torsional nystagmus. Normally, the apogeotropic variant of the posterior semicircular canal BPPV described by Vanucci et al. In 2015 does not show any reversal nystagmus on uprighting from the Dix-Hallpike testing, and in that case the nystagmus during the head hanging Dix-Hallpike position is persistent in nature, that is lasting more than 60 seconds. So there is a intracannular translocation of the otoconial clot from the periampullary location to the non-ampullary region and transforming it to the apogeotropic variant, the Shigeno variant described in 2020. So this is here the Shigeno variant, but there is no partial canalage jam in such cases, and that's why you get a nystagmus which is lasting less than 60 seconds, and there is also a reversal nystagmus as the patient is uprighted from the Dix-Hallpike position. This is the paper that describes a new variant of posterior canal PPPV canalolithiasis. So what did we do? We augmented demi-semont maneuver. Perform the augmented demi-semont maneuver in this individual with the apogeotropic right posterior canal BPPV, 45 degree to his right in the EO axis, and patient is taken briskly to the nose down position to the left. And now I'll put some vibrations on his mastoid. This is the Hitachi matching vent for delivering mastoid vibrations. The idea of giving vibrations is that in cases of apogeotropic posterior canal BPPV, the otoconal debris is often entangled, that is jammed in the non-ampullary arm near the cross column. So, by giving the mastoid oscillations, we are trying to dislodge. We are trying to dislodge it from the jam portion of the canal. So again, for 15 seconds. And after being for 1 minute in this demi-smart position, we ask him to get up to the short sitting. Teji sitting. Stop. So the next day, in fact, the same day in the afternoon, we re-examined this patient. The right Dix-Hallpike retest was done for the second time. And now it elicits again a right torsional upbeating positional nystagmus. But to our surprise, this nystagmus was persistent, that is, lasting over 60 seconds. So, as soon as the nystagmus duration in the right posterior semicircular canal BPPV, it crosses the threshold duration of 60 seconds, the next thing to be done is inversion test, that is transitioning the patient to left lateral recumbent with nose down in this case. And if this nystagmus becomes downbeating and left torsional, it is for sure that he is at present suffering from right posterior semicircular cupulolithiasis. But let us demonstrate that this nystagmus is persistent by keeping him in the right head hanging Dix-Hallpike position. So after 60 seconds, he was transitioned left lateral recumbent with nose down. And now, as you can see, that the nystagmus is left torsional and downbeating, making it clear that at present he is suffering from right posterior semicircular cupulolithiasis of the adherent type. So, how this happened will be demonstrated in upcoming slides. The orthogonal debris on the day 2 was in the non-ampullary arm, and with mastoid oscillation, instead of getting it embedded into the utricular macula, it got into the short arm and got adherent to the short arm side of the right posterior cupula. So mastoid oscillations during the augmented demi-Simond maneuver, they possibly crumpled the otoconal clot, as you can see here. But as we kept vibrating or using the mustard oscillations, it could not get embedded into the utricular macula, and as the patient was uprighted from this position, otoconal debris, it got adherent, the clump got adherent to the short arm side of the right posterior cupula, and that's how the right posterior semicircular cupulolithiasis of the short arm side is emerged. That we treated with the vesicle maneuver. So final diagnosis, right posterior semicircular canalolithiasis, typically periampullary type. Treatment related complications, intracanal migration to the non-ampullary arm, left posterior semicircular canalolithiasis, that is the Shigeno variant described by Shigeno in 2020. Intracanal migration to cupulolithiasis on the short arm side of the right posterior cupula. So this case demonstrates how important are positional retests even in the typical commonest form of posterior semicircular canalolithiasis, because it is a otoconal migration disorder. If it has migrated the wrong way from the utricular macula into the one of the semicircular canals, when you reposition it, it is not for sure that it will get embedded into the utricular macula. It can change track, it can go off route, it can get into the short arm, resulting in short arm posterior semicircular canalolithiasis with sitting up vertigo, or it can result in the short arm side of the posterior semicircular cupulolithiasis, and it can also go in the horizontal semicircular canals leading to canal switch. I finished my talk here. Thank you very much.